Clear 101. Welcome back to my channel. We have a Star Wars toy review for you today. And today I will be looking at the U-Wing action figure vehicle from Star Wars Rogue One. Now, this was released in late 2016. This is a general release. And the original suggested retail was $44.99. Now, before I go any further, let's take a quick look at the packaging. Now let's take a quick look at the packaging for this vehicle. First off, we have the Star Wars Rogue One logo in the top left corner. And also in the top right corner, to go with the Rogue One logo, the Imperial Death Trooper and AT-ACTs. Now in the bottom left corner, we have the name of the vehicle itself, as well as advertising that it fires Nerf darts and the Disney logo. And also showing in the clear window the figure comes with this vehicle, as well as some really cool artwork of it being chased by TIE Strikers. Now on the reverse side of the packaging, we have the Star Wars Rogue One logo in the top left corner. And right beside that, we have the description of the vehicle in 4 languages. The English portion reads, "A sturdy troop transport and gunship used by the Rebel Alliance, the U-Wing Starfighter is a well-armed swing-wing vessel that must penetrate heavy fire zones to deposit soldiers onto battlefields and then fly air support during dangerous missions against the Empire." Also, we back out, we'll see some product shots of the vehicle itself, as well as the figure, as well as showing the Nerf logo, and also a few product shots showing and demonstrating not only the cannon that fires the dart, but the swing wing function, as well as other vehicles, or just say vehicle and figures available. And with that being done, let's get right back to the vehicle itself. And now let's take a look at the vehicle itself. Now, this was one of 3 vehicles that was released for Rogue One, a Star Wars story, or as it would say on the packaging, Star Wars Rogue One. Now, I have some pros, and I do have some cons about the vehicle. As you can see, this ship is so large, and using my new station here, I can barely get the whole ship in frame. I mean, I literally can barely get it even in frame. I can't get the whole thing in frame. That's how big this ship is. But, needless to say. Now, what is this worth the $44.96 it retails for? Considering what it is, I gotta be honest, I would have a hard time pulling $44.96 on this. I mean, if this would have been like the way they would retailing for years ago, like around the 30 to 35 range, then oh yes, this would have been this I would pull the trigger on back then. But $44.96? I'm sorry, especially this day and age, I'm having a hard time even swallowing the concept of that. Now, let's go ahead and go over some of the basic detailing. Now, this actually does have some good detailing into the vehicle itself, especially as far as the actual panel lines is concerned, where it looks like some of the paint's chipping off from everyday use. Let's look at the bottom of it. But all in all, the ship itself, I will say it does look good. If I had to give any complaints, considering this is the scale with 3 3/4 inch figures or 1 to 18 scale figures, knowing what I know about the ship as far as its dimensions are concerned, this would be grossly underscaled. Let me explain. If I had to guess, I'm guessing this is probably getting close to 2 foot long. Going from the very back of the thrusters to the very tip of the wings, right up here. Now, going by 1 to 18 scale, going by this, it would mean this is about 36 feet long, which is very inaccurate. According to these stats, this ship is about 95 feet long. So in order for it to scale properly with a 3 3/4 inch figure. In other words, scale with this guy here. This would have to be over 5 feet long. This would have to be at least another 3 feet longer for it to be realistically to scale with 3 3/4 inch figures. But since they can't do that without drastically increasing the cost, and considering most people, most collectors, most kids are not going to have the shelf space for something that big, I can see why they go with this particular size. That way you go ahead and have a U-Wing in your collection for 3 3/4 inch figures. And on top of that, it does look cool in its own little way. I'm just nitpicking right at the moment. But let's go ahead and go over some of the functions. As can be seen in the back right here, there is a lever. And the purpose of that lever on the back is to help with swinging the wings out on the U-Wing. There is also a secret hidden button right here. And the purpose of that button is to help with lowering this cannon mounted right underneath the very bottom of the U-Wing. And as stated on the box, it does come with 2 Nerf darts. I don't know if they're universal Nerf darts, but this is the main one I have. Now, in order to cock and load and cock it, simply insert the dart into the weapon. However, before you do that, notice that will not move. However, the moment you insert your dart, you then press down. The barrel will come forward, but the dart will remain right where it's at. At which point, if you want, once it's loaded, lowered, cocked, simply press this button right here, and it will go ahead and fire the dart. Or, you could go with a more action-oriented play gimmick. First off, since this is already loaded and cocked, let's go ahead and lower this up into the ship. And could always do it this way. Press once to lower the cannon. Press once more to fire the dart. The ship does feature retractable landing gear. As well as a opening hatch to place the figure inside the cockpit. And inside it does feature some detailing, as well as being able to sit the figure itself. And provide weapon storage for the character's main sidearm. The only complaint that I really have about this is considering the limited vintage style articulation of the figure itself. Even in this angle, it looks like he's staring straight up at the top of the cockpit instead of looking out in front of him where he needs to be going. And as far as that figure itself is concerned, let's go ahead and get a 360 on Captain Cassian Andor. Now, as far as the figure himself is concerned, just like every Star Wars action figure starting with the Saga Legends line back in 2014 up through now, this has the vintage style of articulation. Now, the base figure itself looks good. I especially like the detailing that's in the jacket, especially the various pins, the various folds in the pockets, the various lines that are in the jacket. The jacket itself looks very, very good. as well as the detailing that went into the pants and the boots. Aside from the articulation, I do have a couple of problems. Number one, while yes, he does have storage for his A280 CFE blaster pistol, only one thing. The bottom of his holster does not have a spot cut out for it. So when you go to actually store it, the only part that really disappears is the barrel. You see everything else from about the very front of the receiver on back. So the only other way to really display him, honestly, is with the blaster in his hand. The other complaint I do have, and I'll be honest, I'm just not a big fan of that particular face sculpt. I mean, the paint apps, I really wish they would have done a better job on the paint apps. I mean, especially the eyes. I mean, I'm sorry, but the eye over here looks like it's about twice the size of the one over here. I mean, to me, it just looks messy. I mean, while the hairline looks good, I do like the attention to detail in the hairline. The overall face, I mean, while they got the sculpt decent, it's just, I hate the paint apps they use for it. I mean, it just looks like they didn't, I don't know. I hate to say it, almost looks like they kind of cheaped out on it. But I will, the main plus I will give is the simple fact that you do get a figure to come with the vehicle. Now, as far as my thoughts, my verdicts on the Rogue One U-Wing action figure vehicle, the vehicle itself, for the most part, is nice. I do like the vehicle itself, I do have to say. If there was any real weakness to this for me, it would honestly have to be the figure itself. I just wish that, especially for the price point you're paying, I just wish they would have included like an actual Black Series version of this particular character, of which is a Walmart exclusive, by the way. Which I'm probably going to end up getting just to replace this figure with right here. But, I mean, is it worth the $44.96? Unless you're to me, unless you're a devoted Star Wars fan, I have a hard time seeing $44.96 for this. $30 to $35 for me would have been a more accurate, a more realistic number to see for this. $44.96, I'm sorry, considering the figure, I would have preferred gotten a Black Series version of Captain Andor for that price. But aside from that, the vehicle itself is good. I like the vehicle. I like the Nerf firing gimmick that it has. I like the fact that the lever in the very back swings the wings out. I just think that's good. I like that. It's just the figure itself I honestly have any kind of real complaints about. But that's enough about me complaining. But if you can find this for a reduced price other than $44.96, I would recommend it. Otherwise, I would save your money for something else. But that'll wrap up my review on the Star Wars Rogue One U-Wing action figure vehicle. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.